Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care all the time? Is there any time enough to die? Oh yeah. And watch the time fly. Do 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 do. Hello everyone. We're in the office with Joseph Skoda. That's one of my favorite songs by the rock band Chicago. Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? You think about that. Right now, I'm talking to you actually in front of my computer, and this will go out around the world. This video, as well as many other videos I've done. And I speak all over the world on a regular basis. Sometimes in a Toastmasters meeting where I'm here and there. Sometimes it's being recorded. Sometimes I'm on a panel discussion of some sorts. And it's very interesting. If you have a good story, something you want to share, people will click, they'll watch, regardless of what time it is in the world. Does anybody really know what time it is? And does anyone really care? Now, obviously, if you have children, when you need to get them off to school, you need to get them off to school on time. Teachers can't wait all day. Time is money, as we all know that. But as we mature, we need to kind of figure out what we're going to do in those 24 hours a day, what matters to us and what is really important. That's going to make a difference in our livelihood, in our life, in our family. All right, well, enough on the soapbox. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda, G.I. Joe Skoda, kind of in the flesh, at least virtually in the flesh. It's very interesting. Today, I want to talk a little bit about time. Now, I was fortunate enough, well, I think I was fortunate enough to retire in 2006 after a 21-year career in the Air Force. United States Air Force, aim high, and very proud of it. Now, I was better off than most, at least in my mind, because I already had a master's of business and I had an aeronautical engineering degree and a lot of experience in the military, program management, HR, maintenance, command and control. The list goes on and on. And I was actually still taking classes and trying to keep my mindset correct. But in the military, at least the United States military, it's a good thing because you can get 50% of your base pay when you retire. 50% provided you did 20 years. Now, what I did, I was making about $6,000 a month just before I retired. It was pretty good money. And you would think, well, great, you get $3,000 a month the rest of your life. Well, that sounds good. And technically, if the numbers added up, that would be correct. But in the military, we get a base pay, then we have allowances, a housing allowance, a food allowance. If you are overseas, a foreign duty allowance or cost of living and so forth, those are allowances. Those are in addition to your base pay. So when I retired, and I was still fairly young, the ripe old age of 39, when I retired, I my base pay was like $4,000 a month, and all I was going to get was $2,000 a month to live off of. Now, if I lived in some states, maybe Alabama or Mississippi or overseas somewhere, that would have been a problem. But I chose to retire in California. Now, you best be making $2,000 a week to live in California, not a month. And that was a real struggle for me in the very beginning. But here's what I want to talk to you about how it ties into time. We need to figure out what we need to do at the time we're in right now. What do we need to ensure is set aside to prepare us for the future, for uncertainty? Now, I know a lot of people have 50,000, 100,000, even more money in their IRA account. It's pretty good money. It's pretty good money, $100,000, right? But if they retire right now, let's just say at $2,000 a month, the $100,000, they still have to wait 15, 20 years to take it out of their IRA without being penalized. Okay, not a big deal if you set yourself up for success where you have another income coming in, maybe a job lined up. That would be great. Now, I myself, after I retired, sure, I was going to get a job and earn some extra money. Of course, I was. I'm smart. I have this big head. I know how to do a lot of things, of course. But it took me a little bit over 2 months, maybe 3 months, before I landed that job. Now, it was not my ideal job. It was we were a manufacturing company for turbo expanders. Kind of a big deal. At that time, we were like number, I think there's 3 or 4 in the world that made turbo expanders. Didn't know anything about it, but it was maintenance. It was funny. I interviewed for the job, and it went okay. It went okay. But the hiring managers, kind of went to the higher boss, and the higher boss like, holy, that guy has an MBA. He's got experience in aviation. He's in the Air Force. Hire him before someone else takes him. Like, wow. And when I heard that, later on down the line, it's like, it's a pretty good deal. Now they were hiring me at $30 an hour. $30 an hour. That was more money than my supervisor was making right then. But here's the deal. They were setting me up for a director position that didn't exist yet. They said, okay, while we're getting all this stuff lined up and moving things around and getting new contracts coming in, we want you to kind of start here at the bottom level and see what's going on. I said, okay, no problem. Makes sense. So therefore, I was getting a bigger pay. And when my supervisor found out later on, he wasn't so happy. Now, what was interesting is, sure, I made $30 an hour, but it was a minimum 50-hour work week. 50-hour work week, which means 10 of those hours I got time and a half, which was $45 an hour. And we're very interested because even though in my mind I had more than enough experience to move on, and I didn't take into account some of my disabilities, some of my aches and pains over the years, some of the things I don't want to do anymore. And I was basically turning wrenches on these turbo expanders, looking at blueprints and drilling holes and trying to make things happen. And it's something I didn't do. Literally, I didn't work on planes for at least 15 years or well, maybe 14, whatever it is. I don't do that. I haven't done that in a long time. And yet that was the position I was put into. Now, it's not that I can't turn a wrench. It's not that I can't drill holes. It's not that I cannot lift things into place. But I had knee problems. I had 4 hernia operations. I've had some back problems and things like that. I'm climbing in and out of things and lifting stuff over my head. And when you work in a manufacturing company where everything you make is made to order, there's no standard blueprint. There's no standard of operations because it changes depending on your client and what you had to do and what they expected of you. Well, anyways, I was making good money, but I realized my body wasn't quite taking it as well as I used to. And hell, they even put me on a forklift a couple times and moved things around, which was fun and exciting. But even though in my last month I was making $8,000 a month, in addition to my military retirement, hey, pretty good money, even for California, I was looking for other work. I don't know if this is what I want to do for the next 10, 20 years or whatever it may be, even though the money was good. So I was out looking for other work. And I don't know, maybe my work ethic went down. Maybe they could see I wasn't the best fit for the job. Maybe, who knows? But one day I'm telling my boss, oh, I've got this doctor's appointment. I got to go to this doctor's appointment. I don't know, at noon or something, and I won't be back until tomorrow. And he says, okay. Now, in my mind, that wasn't my mind. I did not have a doctor's appointment. I had a job interview. I don't remember what it was, an HR or something somewhere else across town. But I have this job interview, so I must seek out a job here and go over there. Well, I don't know. My boss or the HR or whoever, the superintendent, was kind of overseeing things and like, come here, Scott, I want to talk to you. I said, oh, mate, let's talk. He's like, well, this doesn't seem the best fit for you, so don't bother coming back. What do you mean don't bother coming back? Oh, don't bother coming back. You pick up your check at the end of the week or whatever it was. And I'm like, there's my easy out. I have a job interview. Life's gonna be great, right? I was prepared. I had a lot of experience even at this job in the turbo expansion world, whatever it is. And life's good. Well, the bottom line is I did not get the other job. And I lost this job. And I'm falling back on my little bit of retirement. See what I'm saying? We don't know what time it is, but we have to prepare ourselves for the future. We have to prepare ourselves for the unknown. We have to prepare ourselves for another child on the way, or a marriage, or even a death, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So does anyone know what time it is? Probably this person. Probably this person. But I encourage people, I talk to them all the time, is make sure you have a plan A, B, C, make sure you have multiple streams of income, make sure that you are valuable in the marketplace. Now, I have an MBA, millions of people have MBAs. What's going to set me aside of those others? What's going to help me get the job or the bigger pay raise than other people have the same education level that I do? You know, it shouldn't matter, but it's the world we live in. And sometimes it's who you know, let's be realistic, or the right place at the right time. All those things come into play. Well, I couldn't find a job right away after that. So I started my own business. Network marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever you want to call it, direct sales. They're all related. And I found a little niche. And I found that I don't want to work for anyone else. I'm unemployable, I guess you could say. And I worked on my PhD after that and done some other things. But I realized it's never the wrong time to continuously building your skill set. It's never the wrong time to look for other opportunities out there. It's never the wrong time to build that nest egg. Too many of us, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow or next week when I have more time, or when this project's finished, then I can devote everything I have to devote to this other project. Sounds good, but are we guaranteed tomorrow? And if you have a family, someone you love and someone you support, someone on the way, and you lose your job all of a sudden, and you don't have the resources to take care of your family, or you don't have that extra money coming in, it can happen half fast. And we even hear now football players or athletes who are in great shape are just walking to school between campus, and they're passing out and dying on the football field. And even when you're not doing some physical activity, they're just passing away. Now we can blame it on a lot of things, and hey, be realistic. Any of us could be caught in a crossfire, of a gun show, or something else like that, or a car crash. And a friend of mine just died a couple months ago on his motorcycle. We don't know our last days on this earth, so you have to think: do you really know what time it is? It's time to prepare for tomorrow. It's time to prepare for the future. It's time to prepare 5 years from now, even if we don't know we're going to be around 5 years from now. Because the efforts we put in today is going to provide more benefits to our loved ones in the future. Hopefully, ourselves, we're still around to enjoy it. But we just don't know our last days on this earth. We don't know our last time we could do a video presentation like this. And if you have a voice and something you want to say, come on my show. I'll interview you, or check out the Social Media Shows Network, and find out how we can collaborate together. You might have a message you want to share. You might want to show us how to make chocolate chip cookies. You might want to talk about religion, or how Hollywood's all messed up, or your military career. You see, we all have a story. And when you learn how to use that story to bring peace and love and comfort to other people, it's kind of a big deal. So when is the best time to tell your story? It's now. It's here. It's today. Sure, we can wait tomorrow. Maybe wait till the Super Bowl's over in a few weeks, or Valentine's is past us, so we can move on to bigger, better things. Or you can start today. Like when I was building a business, and I find out the month of December is when I market the strongest, because too many people, I'll just wait till next year. Well, probably November, December is why I work the hardest, because everyone has these New Year's resolutions. Well, in January, I'm going to do this. And in the new year, I'm going to start a new project. I'm like, why don't you start now? Why don't you build that skill set today? Why don't you bring people into your business vision way before the new year? so you can be more prepared. January 1st hits, January 2nd hits, January 3rd hits. Do you know if you start December 1st rather than January 1st, you're a month ahead? Especially if you're in the sales. I mean, everyone's looking for Christmas gifts, right? And that's why I got into the travel business. I mean, most people or different companies, their award is, hey, we'll send you to Denver, Colorado. We'll send you to Cancun, Mexico. We'll send you to France, right? Or it might be just the Palm Springs. But a lot of people who are movers and shakers in their companies are getting free trips everywhere. So I decided, why not get into the travel business, the vacation business? Makes more sense than doing something else where I get to travel and vacation. Why don't I just do that for a business? Well, if you're looking for that kind of business and that kind of freedom, please let me know. I've learned a lot of things over the years, what to do, what not to do, and I'm still learning. We still have to build that skill set. What we did 10, 15, 30 years ago doesn't always work today. It might work better today. Things change, people change, time changes. Regardless, I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here. That's not my purpose. Point is to motivate and inspire you to get out and take advantage of today. And if you ever get to see that or hear that song by Chicago, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care all that time? There'll be time enough to die or fly. I forget all the words. You should care what time it is, because if you care now what time it is, somewhere in the future, you won't have to care so much because you put everything into place to ensure your future, your present, as well as your future is well taken care of. Don't mess up today. Take advantage, make it work for you, and let me know if I can help. JosephSkoda.com or Social Media Sales Network or so many other ways, and subscribe to our channels. We always have something to share, something we've learned, something to challenge you with. Please take advantage of it and feel free to challenge us also. With that being said, like I said, you're in the office with G.I. Joe Skoda. Does anybody really know what time? If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.